Before I get started, I want to share this while everybody's getting in the room. And like I said, you are welcome to turn your video on. We are going to be interacting on this one. Let's start here and push play. I probably, Aaliyah, does,
1000%.
does that volume work? Can you guys hear that? Yeah, I'm seeing head nods. Carol, Janelle, I see your faces.
A different woman. I believe in this program.
Can you see, you can hear it okay? This is important. I want to make sure you can hear it. I'm seeing head nods. Let's
Everything
go.
has fully changed. Let's just start with myself. I love me now. I was in such a dark place. And if people could have seen me that are watching this right now, could have seen me then and actually could see me right now, they go, wow, that's a totally different person.
Helping me realize that when I transitioned into perimenopause and menopause, like learning that there's things to do to make those personalities not be so strong.
In the energy level, I feel more energy. I still want more, but I can go throughout my day without having to have a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore.
So I remember you sent an email of like women that you were looking to work with. And I was like reading through this checklist and I was like, well, I think I could fit into all of these things. Like I just never realized it. You know, we just don't know what we don't know.
I was coming from a place of fatigue, stress. I was feeling overwhelmed.
You know how you write in your journal and different things. I was just kind of writing things throughout the years, like, what do I really want every day? And I couldn't come up with what it was.
So I love myself for the first time. And now I have the tools and the mindset to do that. My marriage, I'm telling you, we got to fall in love all over again. We are like that when we first got together.
But you're so confident and like you need that time. You're going to be working with me for a year. And I was really skeptical going into it. I wasn't skeptical about you getting to the bottom of it, but I was like, oh, a year. It's been so easy. And the resistance, she's clearly talking about me. You guys, I'm open. So on a side note, you guys can ask me anything. But I did resist a few times, and Mariah was exquisite in talking to me and calling me out on it in a really loving and supportive way and going, just, you got to show up. Like we are here for you. I'm here for you.
About a year ago, my biggest struggles were that I was continually gaining weight. I was so lethargic, like energy basically just didn't exist. I went to work in an office and I came home and sat on the couch and could not drag myself to do anything else.
And so your program was perfect for me and so intriguing because that's exactly what it is, like delving in to find out where you can balance out all of those things in your life.
And I don't have to sleep during the day. My energy level is improving. It's improving a lot.
And I think it just really started resonating with me when I was listening to what you were saying, that it would be a way that I would have accountability, which is huge for me to have. You know, I'm the person that needs somebody at the gym to meet so that I actually show up. You know, I'll work out, but if I commit to something, I'll be more likely to do it.
I needed more energy. I know for a fact that, you know, I knew that I had a hormonal imbalance. And then the libido, just so many questions came up there, you know. And it's just been good.
There's been some really great breakthroughs and improvements. I'm really excited. And so, yeah, if you have any questions about hubby stuff, you could definitely ask me.
I'm treating myself with more compassion and I have been working how to have less stress.
As I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, how can I make this happen? How can I make this happen? Each time I listened to somebody, I was like, oh, how do I do this? Now it's, you know, my husband said to me today, I said, did you notice anything like since we started this? And he said, you're not as sad. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm not as sad.
It's been really great to have this group every week because it really gives me a sense of accountability for myself. One of the things that I love about the program is that it's really flexible. Everything's recorded unless it's like one of those very private.
You were able to point out some things and we, you know, talked about PMS and like all the things. You just made it seem so normal.
I just feel a lot more energized. I don't feel like I'm dragging all the time and that I need naps, especially on the weekends. I would always nap for a couple hours or just be, I don't know, kind of worn out.
Spending so much time in the morning trying to find something that I could wear that A, didn't make me look pregnant, B, that I felt semi comfortable in mentally, emotionally, and then so comfortable flow.
And so what's changed?
Energy is definitely coming way up. Like from a year ago, it's way different. And I think I'm still growing, definitely still growing there. From weight and bloating perspective, we got that under control. I've lost about 25 pounds. And for me, it's not about the weight, but the feeling.
And I really noticed a difference, my water intake, working on increasing that and getting to where it needs to be. But, it is top of mind for me now. And I just want to do the things that I know I need to do for me. Now I need to get moving, as Maria would say. I need to get moving and what have you. But, it's been good. It's been good.
I think I had accepted a new norm for myself. That's the very first thing that just popped into my head. I hadn't had any doctors really get to the bottom of hormones or just a general feeling of malaise and fatigue, and my immunity wasn't strong. I was like kind of catching everything that came across. My brain fog is much better, if not nearly non-existent at this point. So it's great to have that mental clarity, that focus and finish. So I feel like with that has brought a lot more confidence for me.
I guess the mindset was a really big pivotal point for me.
To have that vision of who you could be a year from now and see yourself that way, and don't give up on that vision, and know that you have all the tools, the guidance.
If you're on the fence at all, really consider it. Dig deep, and it's really worth it to be part of this community. The support's just phenomenal.
Okay. I love starting with that because it's like, welcome. You've set aside time. You've registered for this amazing free workshop called Pause in Bloom, and anything is possible. And I'm sure that many of you, as you listen, you could be like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. I'm tired. I'm struggling with brain fog. My hormones feel all over the place. I have PMS. My libido's gone. It's impacting my relationship. And then to move that into, what if we allow ourselves to consider the possibilities? What if it's all possible? No matter where you are along the journey, where you live geographically, but to be able to go, all right, I'm here. I've registered for this free workshop. We're going to be live 1 hour a day for 4 days. And of course, you can watch the replay if, schedules are schedules. I totally get it. I'm running a business and I'm a wife and I'm a mom of 3. And although all 3 of my kids are at sleepaway camp right now, it's my first. It's like, I currently have 5 days with my husband. This is our first time in 13 years. Side note. Okay, for those of you, first of all, hopefully you have your workbook. One of the beauties of registering for this is you have this beautiful workbook. There's journal prompts and things to go through this workshop with your workbook. If you're watching this on YouTube, just make sure you register marayabrown.com/pause. As long as you spell my name correct, you're going to find it. And make sure you register. You've got concierge support, the workbook. If you guys that are on right now, if you're like, I don't have my workbook, or I didn't get the email, the text didn't come through, just put it in the chat. We have a team here that's ready and willing to support you, and we can help you. And I don't want you to get distracted right now. If it's not printed up, fine. Just grab a pen and paper. Okay. We will do our best to get through that. And I would love it if you guys would just put in the chat, where in the world are you joining from? I already see one that's saying Tenerife, which I don't even know where that is. And it's hola, so it makes me think maybe it's somewhere Spanish speaking. But just where in the world are you coming from? California, Oregon, yay, yay, Arizona, hey, hey, Nevada, hey, hey, Washington, hey, hey, British Columbia, North Carolina, Durham, ooh, fun. Hey, Andrea and Felipa, what a beautiful name. Massachusetts, so mainly all US. I know we've got one coming in from New Zealand, another California, Brentwood. Ah, fun. I lived in Encino and Marina del Rey at one point in my life. We have someone from Spain. Maine. Okay, fun. Love to see all you here. And like I said, you are welcome to turn your video on. I would love to be able to see your faces. It really goes a long way to see head nods. Yep. And then when I see you taking notes or I see you, someone from Canada, hey Tammy, um, it really goes a long way. And so I would love for Kalanda and Jennifer and Darja and Halisha, if you can, Carabelle, what a beautiful names. Oh my gosh, that's like poetry in the making. Please put your video on. It really is the starting of a community that gets to be built. I was interviewed today and someone said, well, why did you leave brick and mortar? You know, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Maraya Brown. I'm a Yale and functional medicine trained women's health expert. And I was a midwife for 17 years. I ran the women's health in federally funded clinics and private practices and functional medicine practices. And, you know, it was so fun being able to run the women's health and help women really go from feeling exhausted or beat down or not good to feeling spectacular and giving them answers. But I felt like I was perpetually giving them fish, so to speak. And so by moving online, hey Sarah, nice to see you. It gave me the opportunity to be like, here, look, solutions are there. Feeling better is right at your fingertips, and let me teach you how and why. And let's bring you together with other women that are along their own journey of it. And so, what I want to say to each and every one of you that are here live in Zoom and wherever you're watching, if you're watching the replay, hi, you are part of this. And all of you signed up for this for some reason. It's midnight and you're in your pajamas. Totally get it. You're at the hospital with your mom. Okay. There's excuses. Totally get it. I would love to hear if you can remember, why did you register? Like when you think about coming to this free event called Pause in Bloom for women in this perimenopause and menopause chapter, can you think about what was it? Are you struggling with energy or brain fog or anxiety or irritability, sleep changes, weight changes, menstrual changes? You're trying to get pregnant and struggling, feeling the pressure in your marriage, just curious. Maybe you've tried seeing providers and you're like, they're not giving me the answers that I'm looking for. If you can remember either why you registered or why you showed up today, like, why are we here? What is important to you? Because you know what? I can always pivot. I've got this workbook and I want to make sure that we're focusing in on what are the things that all y'all are struggling with. Okay. Always open to learning more about myself and overall womanhood, especially learning things I can anticipate in the future, support myself and others. Totally. What is important to you? Why are you here? And I encourage you to put it in the chat. Mind fog, right? Brain fog, anxiety, totally. Really common as we navigate beyond age 35. And for many women in their 40s, it starts spiking. And women will start saying things to me like, I don't recognize myself. Like, this is not the same version of me that I was a decade ago. And it's not all bad. Like, we get to change. We get to blossom into this new version of us. And you know what? Our hormones are changing. There's a lot changing. So, mood swings, hot flashes, irritability, totally, memory loss, anxiety, depression, to find myself totally being stronger, controlling anger and anxiety. I love that you said that. Um, there's a quote, which I believe, which is um, unexpressed anger turns to either rage or breast cancer and stomach ulcers. We all feel it. So, what do we do with the anger? And I love this. It's not necessarily about, we're not going to grip it and control it and put it in a box, lock it up, pretend it's not there. But we do get to find more healthy ways to allow for it to be expressed and to get to the root of, is it that anger is coming from sadness? Is it that anger is coming from hormonal abnormalities? Is it that the anger is coming from the fact that you're just not getting quality sleep and you're exhausted? right? So we get to address that. Taking me to the next level in health and life, totally, totally. Just to know more about what is menopause, don't have any symptoms. Amazing. Okay, more belly fat than before. Okay, love it. So you guys are all in the right place. And I love to see that to go, okay, yes, we are on to something here. Um, some logistics. Like I said, we're live for an hour today. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You will all have access to the replays because you're registered. You're going to get emailed and texted the replay link. Okay, so you can catch up. You can always go back and watch it. If you need to miss a live day, totally fine. I do really encourage you to commit to it and say, I'm going to show up fully. Each day kind of builds on the next. And it really is a beautiful experience. Know that you have concierge support. You have both Aaliyah and Raisa that are there every step of the way. In the workbook, you can always find the email, admin@marayabrown.com, and you can text 458-218-7817. You're always welcome to text. Aaliyah, maybe if you put that phone number in the chat, even right now, you're welcome to just text and say, hey, nice to be here. It gives a cue to the team that you are open to support, that you're willing to have some interaction and some personalized care as you progress through this workshop, which you get to be in receivership. And we're all here to support you, right? There is also a bonus session that I am doing Thursday morning that will literally be Q&A. I'm not going to bring any specific content. You get to bring your questions. You can bring your labs. You're welcome to email them to Aaliyah in advance. Everybody can have kind of a hot seat version. That will not be recorded and put on the replay page, and it will not be live streamed into YouTube. Instead, it will be a closed door container for those that want to pop on. And if you have questions about when that is, just ask Aaliyah, put it in the chat. Okay. So if we start with just the definition, like let's get the show on the road. When I imagine myself fully vibrant and alive, what words or sensations come to mind? So when you imagine yourself fully alive, vibrant, strong, how does it feel for you? What words come to mind? What sensations, what feelings, what colors, what sounds, what music, what comes to mind, right? So we're here. What do I feel like? How do I move? Is there ease? Is it fast? Is it slow? Do I think through the lens of a little bit more gratitude, a little bit more hope versus pessimism and doubt? How do I live? How do I manifest? How do I attract? How do I love? And so just think when I imagine myself fully vibrant, look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, she's got it. She's alive. I would love it if you would put it in the chat. Joy and peace, stillness and peace, comfort, belonging, confidence, detached, in love, giving in love, feel light, content, fulfilled. Yeah. Yeah. So good. And glow. Yeah, totally. We all know what the glow looks like. Someone walks in the room and you're like, ooh, she's got the glow. Free, right? It offers freedom. It offers freedom in our bodies. It offers freedom in our dreaming. It offers freedom in how we flow through our day. Freedom in self-trust and how we show up in relationships. Yeah. And so then on the flip side, when I reflect on times I have felt low, fine, I think of fine as a four-letter word. Nobody in my container is okay feeling fine. Unless it's like, oh girl, you looking fine. It's not that kind of fine. We're talking like, I'm fine. You know, when you're pissed off at your husband and he's like, are you okay? I'm fine. Not that. So when you're in fine and low or disconnected, you're not vibrant. What does it feel like in your body then? What do you feel? Hi, Maru. Nice to see you. And I Kim and Stacy. You guys are welcome to put your video on. I would much rather be able to see your faces, right? So what does it feel like in my body? Do I feel heavy in my stomach? Maybe my shoulders droop a little bit. I have a frown on my face. There's not pep in my step. I'm not tired. I look in the mirror and there's bags under my eyes. I'm lacking the glow, right? My mind isn't as crisp. It's my motivation is lacking. I have these thoughts of things that I want to do, but I just can't get my motivation, right? My spirit feels like it's dwindling. Maybe you see a color. Maybe there's certain songs that you associate with it. Great, Maru, that would be great. What comes, and put it in the chat, what comes true for you then? When you reflect on moments when we've all been there, or maybe some of you are there right now, what's the consequence of that? Like, how does it then impact? I'm seeing tightness, I'm seeing down, old, I feel ugly. Yeah. Versus I feel better in my body. I feel heavy in my body. Right. And I want you to think through, like, why are we here? Of course, we're going to be digging into hormonal optimization, and I want your thyroid to be amazing, and I want your adrenals to be strong, and I want you to feel really confident and worthy in the midst of your relationships, and to work through the stinking thinking that has gotten in our way up till now. Yes, yes. But before we go there, we need to start talking about why, right? So when we think about how it impacts everything, it unnecessarily takes up energy and awareness of it. Yes, Philippa, totally. So if you imagine yourself in this place of I'm down and I'm tight and I'm sluggish and I'm feeling old and I'm feeling ugly, I'm probably not feeling worthy, I'm not feeling very energized, I'm not feeling very motivated. What is the impact of that? What is the impact of that on your work, on the possibility of promotions, on your ability to manifest and attract? What is the impact of that in how you show up within your friendships and your relationships, whether or not you go to the gym, whether or not you go on vacations and wear a two-piece bathing suit, and whether or not you even invest in yourself? And how does it impact who you show up as a mom? Assuming most of us are mothers, maybe not all of us are. But to really like feel it and go, that's why I'm here. I want more vitality. And I know that if I continue this route, like someone's saying, my motivation gets impacted, right? Slow, sluggish, distracted, fatigued, poor relationships, lack of motivation, feeling like you're barely holding it together. Totally not productive, right? Understanding no energy and not attracting, feeling uninspired. Like those are dire consequences. I'm not just talking about hormonal vitality for fun, although it is fun. And I love it when the lights turn on and women go, "Oh my God, there I am again." And I'm sleeping and I'm turned on by my husband again and I'm feeling inspired by my day. And I'm not so crabby and I'm not so anxious and I don't have diarrhea and constipation and all the stuff. Like, yes, I want all of that for you. But I also want us to really get honest with the consequences of that. Right? Loss of purpose and self. And if we flip the switch and say, well, what are the consequences if the flip side? What if? What if 3 months from now, a year from now, you were looking in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping. I'm confident. I have energy through the day. I'm not depending on coffee. I'm not biting my husband's head off. I'm really receiving support. I just got a promotion. I'm attracting all sorts of abundance. My body feels strong and light and my mood is stable. Then what? Then what? What's the consequence of that? What changes in your life when that? And I would love to see it in the chat. What would be different? How would your relationships feel different? How would you show up differently as a daughter and a sister and a friend and a mother and a wife? What happens to you? What wells up from within you when you're like, ooh, I got this. I slept and I'm strong and I'm hydrated and I'm well nourished and my hormones are optimized and I feel good and confident and alive, right? Everything. I'm seeing everything. Totally. I can focus on my individual mission to uplift others. Yeah. We actually can put on our own oxygen mask and then go through the whole plane. Like, I just had this visual of like, the little tube that the oxygen coming from. Yours goes, you can just keep pulling it out and you're around like giving everybody oxygen masks all over the whole plane. You're like, I got this. We're good. Now I'm gonna pull out my guitar and I'm singing you a song and my kids are dancing in the aisle, right? Like it's that. And what's the relevancy of that? Feeling like you can take on everything and alive, right? Just alive, music, peace, totally. I want that. We all want that. You wouldn't be here if you didn't want that. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't want that for you. So that's why we're here. And so as we progress through these 4 days, so it's 4 hours, at 1 hour a day for 4 days. And yes, you've got the replays. Yes, you have concierge support. We get to unpack that. And it's like this double helix, right? We get to go into the place of self-introspection. Let me ask myself the inner questions, then maybe go out and share, right? Into education. And then maybe we'll do a guided meditation. And we're going to talk about the hormones and what do we do with nutrition and supplementation for estrogen and testosterone, right? And then we're going to go into the introspection of who do I want to be? What's the broader impact? If the energy's back and the anxiety's gone and my body feels strong, why do I want that? Yeah. So it's a powerful exercise. So next we're going to go into just a self-assessment. If you have your workbook, you have this with you. I'm going to share a screen for those of you that don't have the workbook with you. And I just want you to, you're just going to simply write down 1 to 10. You're not going to overthink it. 10 is most spectacular ever. 1 is a day from death. So sleep. I go to sleep easily, stay asleep, and wake feeling deeply rested. Write it down. Write down a number. And don't overthink it. And I just want to say right away, if it's low, we've got to get you hydrating. Okay. It's amazing what quality hydration can do for sleep. So we're in this place of self-introspection, and I'm dropping some bombs of solutions at the same time. Next one, energy level. My energy is amazing all day. I wake up inspired and have energy for all I desire. Give it a number. 10 is most spectacular. 1 is, ooh, girl, I'm a day from death. And if it's low, if it's like a 5 or below, 6 or below, I want you to start your day with sunlight exposure to your eyes, not through a window. Okay. And a large glass of water and see what shifts in your energy. Even if you just do that, commit to now through Friday, wake up in the morning, get a tall glass of water, go outside. We're in the summertime. For some of you, you're in Southern Hemisphere. It's winter. It might be cold. So bundle. We need sunlight going through what's called our suprachiasmatic nucleus. We need sunlight going through our skin. There's a lot of research I could talk about for days. It's going to impact everything. So energy. Next, sexuality. I feel fully alive and expressed in my sexuality and feel turned on by my reflection, right? When I talk about libido, yes, there's hormones involved, and yes, libido is libido, but it's also, do I feel turned on by myself? Do I feel turned on by the reflection I see in the mirror? Do I feel turned on by my life? Do I have freedom in my life? Do I feel fully expressed? And if it's low, a 6 or below, do one thing today that sparks inspiration or sensuality. We'll dig into that in the midst of this workshop. Vision. I have a crystal clear vision for my life and feel it pulling me forward with joy. Give it a number. Where are we guys? Do you feel clear on where you are going? As a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a business owner, as a daughter, as a community member? And can it pull you forward with joy? Not like, oh, I've got to do this, but I am feeling pulled by it. And we can talk about identity ports in the midst of this workshop. Confidence. Do you speak lovingly to yourself? Do you tackle challenges with courage? And do you know your worth? Like, really know your worth. Not just, yeah, I think I do, but when given the opportunity to invest in yourself, do you do it without a question because you know that you are worthy? And when you invest in yourself, it always turns into the positive because you are the most worthy thing, the most important asset. And where's your confidence 1 through 10? And we'll be writing down affirmations in the midst of our workshop. Okay, hormones and mood. I need a space right there. Team, we got to remember to put that in. I feel emotionally grounded, alive, and in flow with my cycle and digestion. Right? Do you feel emotionally grounded throughout any 24-hour period, week, month? Do you feel consistently alive and in flow with your cycle? And cycle is not just if you're bleeding. Even if you have contraception or you're beyond menopause and you're not bleeding, you still are cyclic. Okay? And do you feel grounded in it? And then we can talk about adaptogens and we can talk about endocrine disruptors. Community. Here's another typo. Team, we've got 2. I have a community where I feel seen, supported, and inspired. Do you have a community? And I would add here a community of women specifically. Community is important, but for women to be in a community of women where we feel really seen and supported and inspired, it's important, right? And we get to invite someone in, right? I just was listening to a podcast recently. It was a Simon Sinek podcast, and he was interviewing someone that's an expert on relationships, and this person said, my definition of intimacy is into me I see. Into me I see. If I am wanting community that actually has depth and meat to it and presence, then there must be intimacy. It's 3:33. Whoop, whoop. There must be intimacy, meaning into me I see. Into me I allow myself to be seen. Into me I see. I see and express my feelings and my emotions, and I allow you in. The ugly parts, the tormented parts, the hurt parts, the imperfect parts, the brilliant parts, the hopeful parts, the sad parts, the ecstatic parts, all of it. Into me I see. Into me I let you see. So we get to go, all right, how are we in the midst of community? So I would love for you guys to total it up. Just add up all your numbers and then put in the chat, what is your total? What is the total? 33, 56. Yep. What else? What else? What else? What else? 35. Yep. 32. Yep. What else? What else? 36. So lots in the 30s. Okay. And what really jumped out at you? What felt like, Ooh, this is good. Like, hey, I'm celebrating this. Where did you feel most solid? Just put it in the chat. Where did you feel most solid? Vision. Oh, so good. Vision casting. Yeah. What else? What felt solid? And Tiffany, I saw that you're just coming in the room. We just did the self-assessment. So if you have the workbook, you're welcome to fill this out briefly. If you don't, just take a pause. We'll move on to the next thing. And then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I showed up at the perfect time. Okay, so vision, energy, sleep, community, energy, sexuality. Everybody's kind of got to get mix of like, wow, I'm really proud of myself here. This is actually solid. Okay. And 48. Okay. And what part really jumped out as you was like, whoa, these are areas that I really, it's time for me to start taking some steps and work on. And Philippa, 56. Awesome. Community. Okay. So it's time to start working on community. Yeah. Okay. Wow. We've got a number of saying, all right, I need some community. Vision and community. Yeah. Okay. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, okay. So lots, pretty consistent here. Just give yourself a moment. For those of you that don't have your video on, if you can turn it on, even if you're driving, even if you're in the hospital, even if you're in your pajamas, just for a moment, if you're able, including you, Aaliyah, if you can, just for a moment, to turn your video on and just do this to one another. Hi. This is how we give each other love. Just send love from your hands and your twinkle fingers. Send energy. I see you guys unmuting. There we go. Send some energy. Send some love. Send some love. And then allow yourself to receive it. Just allow yourself to take a moment and receive it. Receive it from one another. Yeah. We're all women along this journey going, trying to figure it out. I'd like more energy. I'd like better sleep. I want a more stable mood. And I'm longing for community. I'm longing to not feel so damn alone. And I'm so grateful for AI. And I'm sorry, but your AI bot is not going to fit for that therapist or your community that you're longing for. We have to continue to gather, and it can be done virtually. It can be done virtually. It can also be done in person, which is why I also host in-person retreats. I just had the most spectacular couples retreat last week. Like words can't even express the depth and the love that was cultivated in the midst of 4 days. I mean, it's unthinkable. But for us to go, wow, okay, so we started out going, what does vitality look like, feel like? What is the opposite of vitality look like, feel like? If I stay in that place, what is possible? And then to be able to really allow a self-assessment of, what is really going on for me, right? What does it mean? It's not just energy or productivity. It's how we move and breathe and connect and love without burnout. And like I said, most women are living in fine. We are really good at surviving. We are really good at continuing to show up. But deep down, many of us feel depleted or disconnected and distant from joy. And so what we've seen in the work is that, and in the midst of this workshop, we're going to be digging into hormones and libido and confidence and energy and community and vision. And you're going to really get how interconnected they are. And when they all turn back on and begin to align, you begin to bloom. And that's what this week is really about, is blooming, right? So you can rise inspired, not drag through the day. that you can feel turned on by your life and feel turned on by the sex that's being provided to you in whatever way it's being provided to you. Many women, I'll tell you, yes, if your libido's off and it was sexuality that was one of your things, um, sometimes it's your hormones, sometimes it's your gut microbiome, sometimes it's your inflammation or your lack of sleep or just lack of inspiration. It's also are we turned on by the life that we're living? Are we turned on by what's being provided to us? And how can we do a better job at raising our hand and saying, actually, this is what really leaves me feeling connected and loved and open and interested and willing, right? And we'll talk about confidence, right? Do we speak to ourselves with kindness? Do we make big, bold decisions? It's like, yep, I'm signing up for that because I know that I'm worthy of spectacular and I am ready. I'm not going to stay in the what is it, the rat race? Or like if you're a river rafter, just stay in this little eddy, circle and circle and circle. No, right? And we're going to say any sign of chaos or irritability or burnout, no longer. We're coming up with solutions. Okay. And it's time. And then, like I said, we're going to weave. Okay. Okay. So if we move to the next page of the workbook, we get to celebrate what is supporting your vitality. Okay. So just what surprised you about your score? What surprised you? And I would love, take the opportunity to write it down a little bit. What area do you feel most ready to nourish first? Sometimes it gets to a point where it all feels so overwhelming. We don't really know where to start. And so for you, what feels like a starting point? I can start with my energy. I can start with my nutrition. I can start with my hydration. I can start with my sleep. I can start with my confidence. Maybe you want to start with your sexuality. Maybe you want to start with community. But what feels like a safe place that you can get, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for that. And how do you want to feel by the end of this 4-day experience? So just give yourself a moment to journal that a bit. And for those of you that don't have the workbook printed, I can put that up here. So what surprised you about your scores? What area do you feel most ready to nourish first? And how do you want to feel by the end of this 4-day experience? And just allow yourself a little bit of time to write it down. And I'll give you guys a couple minutes. And then, when you feel like it's complete, I would love it if you could put it in the chat. A little bit from all three. What surprised you? What do you feel most ready to nourish first? And how do you want to feel by the end of these 4 hours together over 4 days? Stacy, I'm so curious what you're working on over there. It's a creative project. Start with sleep. Yeah. Yay, Maru, you're doing so well. I love it. So good. And just to go, yeah, I can start with community. That's the piece that feels like an important piece to me. And then we can unpack, what does that even look like? If that's where we're going to start, how do we start there? Start with my hydration, start with my energy. Yeah. And the beautiful thing, tomorrow we'll go into like this concept of how they're all so interrelated, and how, of course, your energy is going to impact your confidence, and your confidence is going to impact how you show up in community, and then it's also going to impact how you show up in your relationship with your sexuality, right? I want to start with my vision clarity, what I want from now on. Yeah. Surprised by the lower energy. Start with getting hydration and walking outside to improve. Yeah. And how do you want to feel at the end of our time together? If you show up for 4 hours over 4 days, either live or recorded. I would like it if you stay live because we have to interact. But what would you love on the back end? Is it like, I want to plan, I want nuts and bolts, I want to feel this way, I want clarity of what is it going to look like? I want to know, what does it look like to work with Mariah? I want to come to the next retreat. When is it? It's in September in Sedona. It's a women's retreat. There's 2 spots left. Like, what is it that you want? How will we define success in the midst of our time here? And if you don't know yet, that's okay. If you're new in my space and maybe you haven't, I don't know, listened to any of my podcasts or attended, I do these live workshops often. Maybe you haven't taken one of my courses before. That's okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know. Totally. We don't know what we don't know until we find out we don't know it. And then we go, oh, I didn't know that. Totally. More authentic and playful. Totally. Um, I have a clear vision and is newly acquired so I can hydrate for better sleep and be ready to be productive along with move more. Totally. I want to be more focused and present in all aspects of my life, anxiety free, feel good about myself, self-caring. Yeah. All right. Race coming in the room. Yeah. Um, and present. Yeah. To be able to go, we're going to be more present. And I say, yes, yes, let's do that. Let's be more present. And part of that is also, I want education. I'm hoping you guys are also going to want to know, like, okay, what are some signs of if estrogen is low and what can I do about it? And how do I know if my thyroid is off? And what if I've actually had a sluggish thyroid this whole time, but from my provider told me my labs look normal? And I'll go through all of that in the midst of this. I think we go over that one, day 3. Okay. So I just want to drop in for a little bit. And what I know is when we act from fear, fear of there's not going to be enough time, there's not going to be enough money, I'm actually afraid of change. Like, it's one thing to say, I want this thing, but when it's actually there, oh, fear is one of the most confronting things that we can ever do, right? And so as you progress through this workshop and you're listening to me, just take note of, is there a part of me that's coming from fear or judgment or comparison or lack or doubt? And just, I invite you to kind of shift the lens, right? Turn the other direction and go, wow, what if I moved that into possibility? What if I moved that into love and expansion and worthiness? And knowing that there's always more coming and coming from a really unconditional space that's peaceful and safe. And just to take note of, Gary Zukov calls it authentic power. There's a book called Universal Human. And he says we have the esteemed privilege of cultivating authentic power. And so it's when we use intention to be clear with, am I coming from a fearful part of myself, or am I coming from a loving part of myself? And what does it feel like in my body? And if I notice that I'm coming from a fearful part of myself, I acknowledge it, I honor it, I feel it, but I actively choose to act from the loving part. And so I'll remind you of this as we progress. But when it's like, oh, wow, you mean the solution might be that simple? Or, oh, wow, she's asking me to think a new way. Oh, wow, she's asking me to prioritize myself in a big way. That brings up feelings within me that kind of are coming from fearful parts of my personality. We get to go to, yeah, we acknowledge it, consciously bring ourselves to a place where we felt loved and safe and cared for and expanded and in the place of vision and hope, and act from her. Act from that part of you, right? And when we act from that trust and that worthiness and that love, we create more of it. right? We create more of it. And so as we progress through these 4 days, of course, I'm going to open up spots. I have the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator trifecta. I have the Women's Vibrancy Code. I'm happy to answer those questions for you, depending on what container feels best for you, whether it's a 3-month experience or a year-long experience where we get to walk you through. And yes, me and the team are here to order your functional lab testing so we can look quantifiably and qualifiably to allow for your change. And often what happens when we get to have those conversations is sometimes, and my dog barked when I did that. Sometimes those fearful parts of us can bubble up or be stirred up a little bit. And we just get to honor it. Like, oh, wow, I just noticed my palms started sweating. I noticed my heart started beating. I noticed some butterflies in my belly. I noticed some tension in my shoulders. I noticed I was clenching my jaw. I'm clenching my butt, whatever it may be. And we just get to go, okay, just stay with your stress. So stress sweating, totally. And just to allow a moment, we can all benefit from this for the rest of our lives in every moment. If our child's throwing a tantrum, we're in a stressful environment at work right now. We have, last night, I watched a fire 3 miles from us up the mountain, and there's another fire a couple miles away. My neighbor's being evacuated. How do I find that place within myself that's not acting from the fear and the panic? I honor it because, yes, years ago, I had to drive through fire to get to my kids, and it sucked and it was scary. And so, of course, there are parts that will bubble that up, and I get to honor her and love her, but act from the loving part of me. Act from the part of me that knows in God's plan and trust that we are all cared for, and also knows that I have so many skills and so many opportunities, and there's so much support there, right? To act from that loving place, right? We get to learn how to, yes, manage your fear, but and to honor it. And sometimes, Maria, sometimes that fear can literally be coming from there's just an imbalance in your estrogen and your progesterone, right? Or we've got an overproduction of dopamine or not enough serotonin and oxytocin. So I can help you understand what could be happening from a physiologic and hormonal perspective. But we also have this same privilege of always going back to who am I being? We are not human doings. We are human beings. So who am I being? And I keep this at my desk all the time. What would she do? So when on the survey, on the vitality assessment, when I gave the one example of identity board, we can talk about that in the midst of this workshop, but to really start getting to know her. Who is she? The she that is acting from love, the she that is energized, the she that makes decisions from a place of deep self-worth, invests in herself with ease. Who is she? How does she feel? How does she dress? What does it feel like when she walks in the room? And to really get to know her and then to be able to say, what would she do? And so when we notice these parts of ourselves where it's like, oh, change, we all want it. But when it's right there, I don't know. What if I don't follow through? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't have the time? What if I change and then it's confronting to my community and my friends and I'm like kind of leaving them behind, and we get to go, right, honor that part and then act from the her that says yes. A big, bold yes to yourself. And I see you. I lost my Shia a long while ago. I'm sorry. And who you've been is zero indicator of who you have the potential to become. Let me say it again. Who you've been can be a zero indicator of who you have the potential of becoming. So who is she? How does she want to feel? How does she want to walk through her day? How does she want to make choices? And what would she do? Okay. So I will revisit this as we progress through the workshop. And, or you don't know how to get it right. And so what happened, I mean, I could go on, but we don't necessarily have to know the how now. You just get to be in the place of desiring the she, and you're going to have time. Okay. So for those of you, if there's anybody that's already like, well, what's the trifecta and what's Women's Vibrancy Code and how do I work with you? We have resources. We have the website. Aaliyah can always pop it in, and we have time together. Hopefully each and every one of you will be here every day. We're going to be able to unpack this. And just know that we're all here to support you. Thank you, Race. I appreciate it, right? We're going to have time. And it's going to become more and more clear. And just know that if you do choose to work with me and the team, you have until July 16th to make a decision, okay? And there's going to be an opportunity for you to book a call. Of course, I'll offer up one-on-one time. My containers are very intimate, right? So we will meet, we will come up with a plan, okay? Okay, so as we're approaching end, I want to make sure everybody's marked their calendar. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific. Do the math wherever in the world you are. And I thought it would be fun. Oh, if you want to share this with a friend, you are welcome to. You can share it in social. You're welcome to tag me. I would love it. We get to pay it forward. There's lots of women in the world that really deserve to receive this. Yep. And yeah, just reach out to the team if you're like, how do I do that? Okay. And I thought it'd be fun with our last few minutes just to end with like a little bit of a grounding in. So if you want to turn your video off, I totally get it. You do not have to keep your video on for this. But I invite you to close your eyes and just land, right? Take a deep breath in and hold that breath and then allow it all out and just exhale big and relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Relax your belly. Relax your eyebrows. Maybe feel your feet planted on the ground or feel the support of the chair behind you. Feel your spine soft and upright. And just allow your eyes to droop and close and know that you're safe. And let your breath find you in this safe place, this vibrant place, this pulsing, alive, light, speedy, expanded, confident space. And just tune in. Gently bring your awareness to your body, the space that you occupy. Feel into the woman you are today, not just on the surface, but beneath it. And allow yourself to just put your hand on your chest and feel into any weight that you've been carrying, any grief, any shame, any fatigue that's behind that beautiful smile of yours. The moments when you've whispered to yourself, I'm fine, but you knew you weren't. Just hold the moments you've looked in the mirror and maybe you've said things to yourself that weren't so kind. Things that you would never say to a friend. And I invite you to follow a path, to see a path. Maybe it's a wooded path, maybe it's a paved path, a path to a future version of you. And this path takes you to the future version of you if nothing changes. If everything is exactly the same, and just keep breathing. Feel into your mornings, your sleep, your clarity, your mood, your relationships, your income, your work, your schedule. Just feel into, see it, feel it, see this path, and just look to the right, look to the left, look in front. This is revealing to you the future if nothing changes. And just feel into how you move through your days. Do your eyes light up, or are you moving through fog? What parts make you smile? What parts leave you feeling sad or depleted or distraught or stuck or in mud? And your relationships, your partner, your husband, your children, if you have them, how present are you? How present can you be when you're running on empty in whatever version that is for you? And what do they feel from you when you're disconnected from your own vitality? And just let yourself feel the cost. Don't dwell on it, but just witness it. You're walking the path and you're seeing it like a movie screen. Just witness it. If nothing changes, what's the impact? What are you tolerating? What dreams are waiting on you? And what do you see? And take a breath. And as you exhale, let the timeline dissolve. Because there you see another path to I said yes to me. I turned it around. Even when my palms were sweating and I thought I was going to vomit, I made a big, bold yes for me and I turned it around. Even when my brain was saying, but I don't know how. I was in the place of self-advocacy. And I started really doing the work on me. And I allowed my body to learn new ways. And I started trusting in myself, trusting in support, trusting in my ability to receive, trusting in the possibility, trusting in humanity again, trusting that community would be there for me and that there is a space where I belong. And I said yes to support and to nourishment and to change. And there's the path. And allow yourself to walk down that path, waking up rested, not resenting the morning or the alarm. Imagine your child's eyes looking into yours or your husband's or your friends or your coworkers, and they see you fully present, playful, radiant. Imagine walking into work, whatever that is for you, with grounded power. And everybody's like, ooh, I'll have what she's having. Aligned with your purpose. No longer overgiving or apologizing for your needs. And feel the yes in your body, the yes, yes. And walk down that path and look to the right and the left and in front of you. Feel your belly and your chest and your throat and just watch the yes, feel the ripple into your cells, into your relationships, into your lineage. Your lineage. And see it. See the life. See your days. It's not fantasy. It's a doorway. And the only requirement is to walk through it, to step onto the path and say, yes, yes to me. There are so many resources. There is so much support out there. You get to say yes and be willing. To be willing to change and step off the current path and on to the next one. So take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, whisper to yourself, I'm ready. I'm ready for my vibrant. I'm ready to meet her. I'm ready to get to know her. I'm ready to receive the support. I'm going to show up fully in the midst of this workshop and do the introspection and the journaling, and I'm ready. And when you feel complete, just allow yourself to wiggle your toes. Hopefully, the dog barking wasn't too jarring. And open your eyes and allow a smile to show up on your face. And just feel this. That path of possibility is the path of love. It's the path of choosing that. I get to acknowledge the fear. Whatever parts of me are being welled up or activated, acknowledge them, feel them, but act from her. And we get to reactivate her and help you remember that version and that path to know it's possible and give you the building blocks and the support. And so I'm so thrilled that you're here. And we are going to have some fun over these next few days. So I encourage you to continue to show up. Interact with Raisa and Aaliyah. They are here to support you. Raisa put email and phone number in the chat. She also put links to Trifecta and the workbook. Thank you, Raisa. Appreciate you. And we are all here to support you every step of the way. I will see you tomorrow, same place, same time, and really looking forward to it. So proud of each and every one of you for how you've shown up. And with that, I'm off to go get a side-by-side massage with my husband because our kids are away at sleepaway camp. Oh, you're